Hello everyone and welcome to my channel K70. I'm your host Deep Sixer, and yes, what we're doing, we're going to be talking about Trek, everything Star Trek, from the original series always to Enterprise, no further. And to do that, I'm going to have a couple of friends of mine who are both Trekkies, and we were discussing, we're talking about pilot episodes. And we're going to start with the TOS era, both The Cage and Bowler Go. But first up, I must get in my guess. Two of my guests, if I know one of them's right, has the other one turned up. And they will be a reoccurring guests who will be coming to help talk about Star Trek. Everything Star Trek, when it comes from the TVs, from the series to technology, uniforms, starships, everything we can think of. Or anything you want us to talk about. So I'm going to bring in my first one, Jensen Quinn, because the other guy hasn't turned up yet. So I'll just bring him in now. Boom, 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 boom. Here he is. Hey, Jensen.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, oh dear boy?
I'm still alive. That's the best I can give you.
Well, that's all. That's all can I hope, really, and it's the best we can hope for.
Yes.
Say hello to say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
Yes, of course. Yes. I should be more
But
specific.
you knew I was going to do that.
Yes. The moment the words left my mouth, I knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. Hold on, let me just forgot to bring myself up there. There we go. And wait for Nomad at the moment, who will be our second, my second co-host in this endeavour, and hopefully we can get Pat in as well. Patrick, my animator. He might come in on last minute because he's, unlike us useless dossers, he's got a life outside YouTube. So, he's got work and everything like that. So, unlike me and Jensen,
I do not understand this word.
What, dosser?
Life.
Ah, right.
No,
okay.
life.
All you have to do is go in the dictionary, look at the word dosser, and you see a picture of you. Whatever you look like. Right.
Oh my God, that's a horrific thought.
And me, unfortunately. So, well, first of all, we'll tell before we'll still wait for Nomad. I want you to tell ladies and gentlemen out there what brought you into Star Trek.
Honestly, I got into Star Trek originally because of the computer game Star Trek Armada. And then I started watching Star Trek. And then I started watching all manner of sci-fi, which apparently we're not allowed to talk about.
No, because it's called Trek Talk.
Flat Petra. Yes,
I know. You're reading it backwards on Discord. Yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, how long ago was that then? When you first got in?
I was literally a child.
Literally a child.
Yes.
So what was your first one? Was it TOS, Next Generation?
Next Gen.
When did you start seeing the TOS?
TOS was the obviously repeat into the middle of next week. I mean, I've heard rumour that TOS is still being streamed as we speak. Literally, it's a...
Well, yes. I mean, I watch it on Netflix. And I've got a box set of TOS, but it's the remastered version, so all the effects have been upgraded.
Ooh. You mean they actually look good?
Like shit. Yes, and you know what they used to? They used to stop themselves, saving time building ships to have this little dot saying that's a ship. This time they actually put a ship there.
Wow.
Proper phasers and photon torpedoes. Okay, so who do we have in the chat? Let's go and have a look. See who do we have in the chat, because we have how many people watch? We have 5 people watching. So we have, step at the top, we've got Willie Cogley, who usually appears on my other channel, The British Coming. Link is in the description below. Please subscribe. Also, while we're there, there's a link to my tips. If you want to make a small donation, please do so. To link is in the description below. It will go back into this channel. It will help me buy resources and tools I need to help us do more projects, not just Defiant, but link is in the description below. Thank you. Who else do we have? We have my blender buddy, Eric the Pug. How are you, my friend? I hope you are doing well. And Mr. Goatman, another one usually on my other channel, The British Are Coming. Link is in the description below. Anyway. Here we go. We had Jensen. And we have Dusty D. Oh, yes, I remember you from my last live stream. Welcome back. It's good to see you. And Dusty D too. Is it the same guy? who's made
I'm
another
going to
second.
assume yes.
Yes.
That is a pure assumption, just so you
Pure
understand.
assumption. Dusty D2. It's either the same guy or it's his twin.
No, well, you don't think.
Or evil twin.
personality.
It could be the mirror twin. Mirror universe Dusty D.
Actually, talking about Trek and Mirror Universe, I really like the Mirror Universe stuff. They really should have actually made a separate show of the Mirror Universe.
That would have been good, wouldn't it? Yeah. From when it raised up until its collapse.
Yes, actually, that would have been fun.
When the Alliance took over.
Yeah, but then again, it'd be interesting to know what happened.
Yeah.
I.e.,
Well, there have been comic books being released with the showing what happened to the Empire. Many different books, many iterations.
Right.
Okay, who else we have? We have Mark. Was it Mark Harkness? Welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you're all doing well. And so we're going to be talking about Trek, with mainly the pilot episodes, 2 in particular from the TOS series, which Jensen knows nothing about. So there we go. I was hoping that Nomad would come in because then they could help educate Jensen on the TOS.
me not know old stuff.
Well, even though says he's been watching the rerun, so I would have thought he would at least know about the Cage and the Bodley Go one.
The only thing I can think of based on the Cage was the Tholian Web, and I know that we're not talking about that.
No, that Tholian Web wasn't in the Cage.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That should give you the clue of how little I know.
I think the Tholians first appeared. Funny enough, it was to do the episode with the Defiant. To be honest, I think it was called the Tholian Conundrum. I think it was called. Can't remember now.
Okay.
Okay. So what's his? Dusty D. Smith. What's it? Dusty D. Smith's Full Bears fan. Okay, that's his name.
Okay.
Right, Dusty D. Smith's Full Bears fan. Okay. What will Skydance do with Star Trek? Don't know. Don't care anymore. I'm sticking with real Star Trek, which is real fan films such as Star Trek Defiant. Anyway, is he here yet? No, he's not. He's still not here.
No. He's decided he don't like us.
Yeah, wow, typical, isn't it? He says he's going to be there. He says he's ready when we are. I said be there in 30 minutes. It's been well over 30 minutes.
Oh, yes. Though, in all fairness, based on the number you gave me, he's exactly 1 minute till up.
Right. Well, looking at this, he's 4 minutes late. It's 9 minutes past. It's 4 minutes past 9. So there you go. He's late.
No, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Late.
You're late, boy.
Let's just say, well, Dusty D2 says the Cage is the only time you see ship or orders and scene readouts on the papers of the clipboard. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, I know what it means. You get to see what's actually on there.
Okay.
So basically, we're going to talk about. I wanted to talk about those 2 ones, but I wanted Nomad to help out, but fine.
You wanted someone who knew what they were talking about. That's what you're trying to say.
No.
That's what you're thinking.
No.
I love the innocence in your voice.
No.
Oh well. Okay.
And the nervous laughter.
That's interesting.
What's interesting?
I've just calculated the rough area that Dustin T2 Smith's in.
Oh, why?
Yeah, he's East Coast.
East Coast. Okay, right. Okay, well, it kind of says, so have any of you seen HMS Defiant starring Alec Guinness? I probably have seen it. So it's just, I've seen it a long time since I've seen an old Alex Guinness film. I probably have and just forgotten about it. Must have actually gone and watched that, to be honest. Now he's mentioned it.
Fair.
Did it help me inspire? No, I was inspired by the name because I know that one of our ships was called the Defiant. So
Apparently, Cage had black doors on the bridge. Did you know this?
The bridge, yes, it wasn't as colourful as it is now.
Okay.
So I can give you an Exhibit A. Well, it wasn't black doors; it was blue. Looking at this, so I'm going to bring up Exhibit A. View screen. There we go. This is the bridge of the Cage Enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean?
See the doors here were I'd say steely blue, I think, and the uniforms are completely different. And so were the controls, and these thingies. These were actually intercoms.
Wow. Okay.
So it had a little view screen on there as well. There, a little view screen on there, which I thought was cool, and the captain chair had one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's their chief medical officer, Dr. Boyce. There's number 1, first officer.
Yeah.
Who's played by I can't remember. I always get her first name, but Gene Roddenberry's wife, basically, before she became Alexandra Troy or also Nurse Chapel.
Also, from what I've heard, the voice of the computer.
Oh, the computer, yes, it was her. Does the voice of the computer, that next gen one, yes.
Yeah.
There's Leonard Nimoy. Throwaway character 1, throwaway character number 2. I have no idea who this is or this one is.
No, you can take that back. They're not throwaway. They're not in red shirts. Everyone knows it's only red shirts.
They didn't return for the second.
That is fair.
They didn't return for the second pilot.
No, that is a fair statement. Can't disagree.
Yes,
with
we
that.
know it's the computer there, mate. Yes, so yeah, Jeffrey Hunter played Captain Pike. Original actor. Leonard Nimoy as Spock, of course. Lieutenant Spock at the time. Madge, I can never pronounce her name. Madge. Doesn't matter how many times people tell me her name, I always can pronounce it wrong. Majel Barrett, which is Gene Roddenberry's wife, played number 1. John Hoyt played Dr. Philip Boyce, and Suzanne Oliver played Vina.
I'm going to guess this was all pre-Bones, etc.
Pre-Bones, yes. That's why Dr. Boyce was the original chief medical officer. I said this is when Spock was still a lonely lieutenant commander. I think it was either lieutenant or lieutenant commander.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's interesting. That means he was the same rank as Data.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know her name, but I just couldn't pronounce her name. I got it written here. I could just never pronounce it.
Yeah. I only know because it was one of those weird things I picked up at some point.
Yeah, so.
Got to say, it would have been hilarious if the original season brigade had actually bumped into literally one of the smallest Borg ships would have done. It would have wrecked Federation.
Okay, so it's the release. It says it was completed on January 22nd, 1965, with a copyright date of 1964. Episode was written by obviously Gene Roddenberry. Do you know what was it? It wasn't called Star Trek. Really, his original name wasn't called Star Trek. Before they changed. I think it was called. Wagon Train to the Stars or something like that. I think it was before it became Star Trek. Something stupid. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah.
I should point out I was minus 13.
I wasn't even born. I wasn't even born yet. So there you go.
Yeah.
I was still a gleam in my daddy's eye. Wagon to the Stars. Yeah, thank you, mate. I said I was paraphrasing. I knew it was something to do with that.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oregon Trail in space. Sorry,
Has he arrived yet, or is he? No, he's still.
get real.
No, get really. Oh God, he disappointed.
Look, I know this is a non-politic, but I have to say this. Did you really think the Americans were going to come in at a reasonable time?
Shh. We've got some Americans watching right now, so no.
Okay.
No.
Hey.
No.
Me good Zomzom. Me play nice.
Even though it's true, but no. I mean, I really should have asked you to do some homework and actually watch that episode then of the Cage. I should have done.
Oh.
I should have done that. I should have got you, day before. One of your homework was to watch that episode. Live and learn. Live and learn.
Am I going to get a gold star if I do this?
Yes, you would. But it's too late
okay.
now. So there you go. It's too late.
Hey, I turned up. I'm doing better than Nomad.
Yeah.
Well, given the fact that we don't look like we're going to be able to talk the original series,
Should we move on to the okay, we'll might as well work on we both know about Next Generation, Captain Picard.
Yeah.
Up at Farpoint station, Farpoint. Yep. Two-parter.
By the way, you do know that this is going to get a little bit sciencey in the most vaguest possible term, but that actually can't exist because the planet was called, I believe, Deneb, and Deneb's actually down like closer.
I'm trying to bring up the that episode. It was called Farpoint, wasn't it? Farpoint.
Farpoint was the station. I don't know what the planet. I believe the planet's name.
No,
is
I'm
Deneb.
just looking for the name of the episode. It was called Farpoint, and it was a two episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. A Farpoint. Yep. I got it.
Where dear old Riker first came in.
Mine. Oh, Ensign Babyface minus the moustache and beard.
Didn't he change when he got that beard?
Didn't he? A completely different person, didn't it? It aged him,
That's
to be
what
honest.
it's done.
It aged him. Then he lost it again for Insurrection, wasn't it? Then he grew back again.
It literally wandered around randomly, in my opinion. But so, the alien in it was actually truly terrifying. Do you realise how powerful that alien actually was?
Well, considering what happened to its mate, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Nor am I. But the power level of it actually quite terrifying.
No, yeah. Let me just bring up the view screen. Here it is. So and of course the Enterprise missing its saucer section at the time.
Well, you say missing.
Well, it was separated, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic on that, but it was detached, not missing. Missing does indicate that it had a tiny weeny incident.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying in this picture, it's missing.
That's fair. Which is quite funny, because technically that actually makes a ship more dangerous, because after all, that is now the full combat vessel.
Yeah, that's the one on the battle bridge. Yeah, because now all the families are on the saucer section. So there we go.
Yep.
It
also.
It's just basically a small, very tall, small bridge mounted on some very large engines.
Well, at the end of the day, okay, the power necessary for shields and weapon things would be vastly reduced because they wouldn't be necessary without said saucer section. So it would explain why they.
I mean, don't forget for saucer section to work, it's going to have two separate power cores and computer cores. So it'll be one in the saucer section and one in the main drive.
Logically, yes.
I mean, the impulse engines again independent. Again, it has one on the saucer section and one behind the neck of the Star Drive.
Fair.
Although
Wonder
one
if
thing
it
it doesn't have is warp capability.
Warp. That was my next question. I wonder if it actually can warp.
I mean, it hasn't gotten to the levels of the Prometheus class. So there you go. With its
fine.
multi-vector assault mode. But we're jumping ahead now.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think of the Galaxy class? Compare it to the TOS and motion picture ones. I wasn't
Okay, you've made it very clear that this is a PG-13, so I'll try to word it very, very carefully. I found that ship to be less than impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, that's very diplomatic of you.
Thank you. No, I would, weirdly, I actually really liked the Ambassador class.
Yes, I did like that one as
Okay.
well. Though that became Enterprise C as well.
Yes.
The forgotten starship. The forgotten episodes. Yeah, Enterprise C.
Which was a shame. And then obviously I like the Sovereign class when we hit E, but yeah.
Yeah, so it was the Constitution class refit. Then it was the Excelsior Model B, reconfiguration B.
Yep.
And then there was the Ambassador class. Then there was a Galaxy class.
Yeah, let's just pretend it's it.
And then the Sovereign. And then they got.
Mhm.
And then I can't remember what the F was because we're going online, aren't we? Star
Yeah.
Trek Online for the F.
Yeah. I don't know. Unfortunately, my knowledge of Trek kind of stops at the Sovereign. I'll be honest with you.
the
So
last,
I do know of J.
what I know from season 3 of Picard, the only decent season, because the person who was writing it was a guy who worked on Voyager and he knows Star Trek and he's a big fan of Star Trek. They've at the end, at the very last episode, they changed the Titan, which is a Neo Constitution class, to rechristen it as the Enterprise G.
Ah. Okay.
And to be honest, it's a nice ship. It's a really
Yeah.
nice ship. Some people don't like it. I kind of like it.
I will be honest, I'm not a fan overall of the Federation ships. Weirdly, to make every single Federation ship, you literally need to do one thing in my mind. And that is it. Turn them upside down.
Like they did with the Akira class. And the
Yes.
NX. They did it with the NX-01. They took an Akira class and they turned it upside down.
Yes.
And that was the NX-01.
I like that look. I don't like... I know it's pedantic. I just don't like the look of the Fedi ships. Though I gotta say...
But it's keeping with what they are, though. That's where there's no ship, so it's keeping with the, with the Federation and the style.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Mark Huckness says the F is the Odyssey class. There we go. Thank you for that one.
Ah, thank you.
Enterprise G
Good.
is a nice ship, but should be remain the Titan. Yes, I agree with that. There was a guy. I can't remember his name now. Dave Pullen, or can't remember his name. I mean, he's an Irish, right? Ginger like you. He came up with an idea how season 3 should have ended for Picard. They should have it come into there's a scene where it comes into the star base, and there was the introduction. They said we're going to change the Titan to the Enterprise G. What they should have done, he said, which I told you would be a good idea, was when they come up over it and they'll see, because they brought back the Galaxy class to D to save the Federation, brought their old ship back to original crew back into it. What they should have done, had the bring back the Galaxy class, but as reconfigured as an all good things.
Fair.
The dreadnought configuration.
Yeah.
The Galaxy
To
X.
respond to
I thought would be
Dustin.
fantastic.
Yeah. To respond to Dustin, the Miranda class, not a bad little ship, but if I'm actually going to look at any of the other class of ships, I really like the Steam Runner. Now let's see if he knows the Steam Runner.
Oh yes, that was one of the ships that was built to help fight the Borg.
Yep, it was
Steam Runner and the What was the other one? There was another one. Oh.
Kira was also. The
No,
Spitfire.
not Kira, but there was another one. It was Norway. No, I think it was the Norway class.
Okay, all right. Can't say I know that.
Hey, Ken and Joe, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, it was So when the Borg appeared, so it was the Akira class, Steam Runner, Norway. I think it was called the Norway. I know it began something like, and of course the Defiant. The prototype Defiant.
Yes.
The DS9 Defiant.
I've got a. I'm going to get a bad reaction from this, I reckon, but I was never a fan of the Defiant. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
it kind of grew on me. It kind of grew on me.
Allow me to explain this. The reason I didn't like it is because there was only one of its class that actually had the cloaking device.
Well, it was borrowed. It was borrowed by the Romulans, and they couldn't use it unless they were in the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah. Even though cough cough, it got used a lot more often than that.
Took quite a bit of liberties, didn't they?
Then it actually, as we're currently just sort of randomly chatting, I tell you one thing, I love the concept of the cloaking device that gave us Thomas Riker.
Yes. Oh, the phase through. Yes.
Yeah. By the way, that is a system that the Romulans have on one of their class of ships.
But it's like a prototype, isn't it? It's kind of like the bird of prey that can fire while it's still cloaked. You know.
Yes.
It was only one of a kind, only one of its kind.
And unfortunately, yes. Then again, I mean, have you ever actually played Star Trek Armada?
No, not really. No.
Well, I can tell you now.
I think I did. You get to choose what ratio from Federation to the Ferengis and Borg.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I.
Now, the problem is if you're not the Borg and you don't have cloaking, you are a smear. You are DNA floating in space.
What is it? What I said? The Romulans. Oh, you use the killing to kill the Klingons. We look the other way.
Oh yeah. But let's be honest, the Romulans had a very interesting version of morality now, didn't they?
That's saying something, that is.
I gotta say, barring the Borg, the Romulans are my favourite race. I bet that doesn't surprise you, does it?
No, just the culture and style of clothing is a lot to be desired. Very dull. Yes. But that's the idea. They're supposed to be, homogenous. So you obey or else,
Yeah.
Well, the dull food and the dull clothes, and the only thing exciting about them was the Romulan ale.
Yeah, which actually, if you think about it, says quite a lot. Because, like you said, they're very dull and homogenous. Except they created what theoretically was classed as the strongest alcohol out there.
Yes. They probably use it. Well, they probably don't drink it themselves. They put it out there to get everyone else so inebriated they can't concentrate on what they're doing.
would actually explain a few things. I'll be completely honest with you.
What has Worf said? It says it. Romulan ale. It should be made illegal. It is.
Yes. Even though Kirk and crew apparently swilled that stuff down like milk, quite simply. It was regularly pointed out how.
Yeah, well, you notice that the Klingons were all right with it because they drink just as strong, if not more, as alcohol. So it didn't affect the Klingons, but it certainly affected the humans afterwards.
And again, I mean, come on.
Can anyone? What was it say? What was it said? Did anyone detect this energy surge? Only by the swelling of my head.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Klingons had blood wine. Why would they care about anything else?
Exactly. Because you know what they eat and drink. Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
They can drink turpentine and it wouldn't even affect them.
I know, I like Matt Barkley's comment. prune juice is better.
A warrior's drink.
By the way, the other race, which when I'll just point out how I like the Borg and I like the Romulans. The other race I really like are the Ferengi. I can.
Well, you can relate to them, can't you? Why am I not surprised that you can relate to them?
What?
Why does that not surprise me?
They just cut deals. What's the problem?
Oh, it had nothing to do with anything else. You know how they treat the women and all that other thing, and money.
Yeah, no. What? Right, okay. We can stop right there. Have you seen their women? I don't care the fact that they're naked. Ew. Okay, just
Ew.
Ew.
Ew. Ew.
Okay.
And yet somehow Ron was lucky one who married a Bajoran Dabo girl.
Of course he did. I mean, hey.
He has got to be one of the most luckiest Varengans in the entire galaxy. Have you seen her?
That is a fair statement. And after all, he was like the only Ferengi that actually joined the Federation for quite a while, I believe.
No, he joined the Bajoran mechanics. He wore a Bajoran uniform. It was Nog. It was Nog, his son. His son that joined. He was sponsored by Cisco.
Yes.
He wasn't part of the Federation, but because he was sponsored by Cisco, he got in.
Gotcha. That explains that. Okay, well, fair point. But yeah, give me your races then. Top 3.
Top 3. Oh bloody hell! Put on a
Oh
spot
yeah.
here. Races. Come on, Bennett.
I do like doing this. It's quite fun.
It is. I know. I can't. I mean, it's got. I hate you.
No. You hate me in a moment, and that is because not only do I want you to say what they are, I want to know why.
It's some of the aggressive races. I like the Klingons, the Jem'Hadar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the two main ones. Especially the Jem. I love the Jem'Hadar warriors. I think they're brilliant. Psychopathic or what, but brilliant.
Putting those into the list, I wasn't a Jem'Hadar fan, but I was a fan of the water. What a shock!
I just love the. I just love the Jem'Hadar and the Klingons. I suppose it's the warrior races I like more than I yeah.
Does that mean you were a Nausicaan fan then?
Not particularly, no, but I do like the Breen.
I like the Breen. They're an interesting race, just purely because.
But Matt, we're talking alien races. We're not talking about humans. We're talking about other alien races. Yeah, we're not including humans in this.
Actually, no, I am. If you're actually a fan of the humans, I'm fine.
No, well, humans, full stop. That's the case. Full stop. Well, no, humans. We're the master race.
Jawohl. That's all I'm going to say.
No, what was he? Was he that high and he was over there?
Mm-hmm.
Andorians, of course, yes. Andorians, yes. Yeah. I do like the. See, they keep bringing up all these words. Yes, I like them. Keep listening for. Yeah, why could I forget the Andorians?
In that case,
and when I take order, and when I particularly say Andorians, I'm talking Enterprise Andorians.
Oh yes. What about the Zakdawn? Oh yeah, that's right. Zakdawn. I know them. Oh yes.
Remind me. Who were the
Zakdawn were the ones where, again, this is all TNG, so you'd have to live with it. They're the ones that would play the strategy games where you would plug in and wiggle your fingers and lights and whatnot.
Oh,
and
yes. Monumentally arrogant and smug, aren't they? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Data was really with an absolute superiority complex. Yes, I know what you mean now. Yes.
Yeah, but they actually, if you can get around the arrogant individuals, they were actually really dangerous because they were
strategists. Yeah.
Okay, they quite literally. I mean, they themselves weren't necessarily combatants, but imagine if you could get a ship trained by them, crewed by Klingons. The word you're looking for is eek.
no, not just Klingons. The Dominion.
Yes, I have a problem with the Dominion, and it's quite funny when you work on the idea I support the Borg. I don't actually like the slave race concept of the Jem'Hadar. It makes them too weak.
In what way?
You neutralize the whites, they are literally helpless. If you can cut their supplies and as ex-mil,
find a way, don't they? Or if they manage to break free of the but that had to be a genetic anomaly. Because remember, there was one Jem'Hadar. He produced his own Catch-Cell White. Had a gland. Didn't need it.
Yeah.
So the genetic diversion.
That's my point. They literally produce their own weakness.
And the Vorta were cloned, so.
Yes. Though again, I do kind of like the Vorta, but they are too. I'm going to do this without swearing too much. I want to check with you. Is it ass an acceptable term for you?
I don't know. Type it into the.
Literally. All right. I'll change it to butt kissers. They butt kiss the living heck out of.
It's how they've been programmed, though. They have been programmed to worship the founders. So.
Yes, and have you noticed you are actually doing my argument for me?
Yeah, and your point being?
My point being, that's why I don't like them. Actually, that is literally the main reason.
Right, what's it says? Dusty says, thing that made the Borg too weak, Catherine Janeway, and the time that the Borg assimilated a Pakleds.
That is true.
What? Have I missed something?
Oh, do you know the Pakleds?
Yeah, I know the Pakleds are not very incredibly bright. We are strong now. We want to go faster.
Yes, that's them.
Our engine don't go. Our engine broken.
I have to say, why would the Borg actually have an interest in the Pakleds? It does kind of make you wonder.
They're stupid.
What was special about? No. That's the point. They may be stupid, but what was special about them? The Borg don't assimilate everything. They, in fact, only assimilate things that will increase them. So there must have been something about Pakleds.
I was saying, why the hell would they assimilate a bloody Pakled?
Yeah. So I've got a nice little brain tester for you. What is species 0001? Good luck.
I know what species 84742 is, but they never have a name for the fluidic creatures. But I don't know who that one is. Tell me.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
That's actually the point. You may have had
84742. Here we go.
Yeah, and the 8472, they actually do have a name. I just can't remember what they are. And we're not talking fluidic space alien. They actually have a term for them. I don't remember what it is. I agree, Mark. They won't actually touch the Kazon because the Kazon have no use. They are literally...
They're just aggressive, naturally aggressive people.
Yeah. Quite simply, why bother with the Kazon when you have the Klingons?
Klingons, exactly. Klingons are far superior.
Yeah. Now, this...
I wonder, it's interesting. I wonder why they have ever... Be interesting what the Borg's thoughts would be on the Dominion species. You know, like the Jem'Hadar, the Vorta, and the... How would they look like assimilated?
I hate to say it, but I think I've actually already answered it. They're slave people. We won't waste our time.
Yeah, but they got the ability, to shroud and all that sort of thing. That'd be very useful. Very useful as a combat assault drone.
Yeah. Yes, I would actually suggest that what the Borg would do, and it's purely suggestion only, that they wouldn't lower themselves to Jem'Hadar or Vorta or any of that. They'd have gone straight for the Shifters.
The Founders. I don't know how they can. I don't think they can assimilate someone like the Founders. I mean, they're completely.
I don't know how they can fail.
No, they can't. No, I don't think they can. They'll probably just examine their technology and if they can't assimilate, they destroy.
That's also a thing. But my point being is, the founders have been proved to be infectable. In fact, that was literally an entire storyline.
Yeah, and I say,
Which
but they
means-
can't be assimilated. Though. How could they be assimilated?
What you would do
The
is you would
probes.
inject the nanites into them, and then send them back to the pool, so they all get infected.
But will they be assimilated?
And
They
just
said you got.
you know,
They can't. Remember, they say they can't assimilate; they destroy.
that is also the other thing. Unfortunately,
No,
They
they can't
never
be.
really
I don't think they
did.
can be assimilated as the, but they can be infected. We noticed that. That's what he's trying
Yes.
to say. You know.
yes. I mean, in all fairness, we're really going to ask questions with the weird stuff. I'd like to know what it was that the Romulans were running from. You're going to go, what do you mean the Romulans were running? The whole point of the Romulans doing what they did in the Alpha Quadrant was apparently they were being pushed in from the outside. I wonder what it was. 'Cause I don't, to the best of my knowledge, it's never been defined. It was just a.
I'm just trying to think now. Where they've been pushing it depends which. Was it from the other? Were they being pushed from the other quadrants? Alpha.
It was
I mean,
defined
from
in-
the delta or gamma quadrant.
It was just being defined as from the outside of the quadrant. What direction it was, I do not know. Again, this is just one of those little
Speculations.
spikes of information that I picked up once, got shoved into the box to remember later, and I've just mentioned it. Okay.
Just so that please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and all good things. Let's get the word out. Let's get people in here. And if you wish to make a small donation, please do so. Link is in the description below. All proceeds will go back in this channel to help pay for resources and tools to help to produce more content such as this, The Defined, and of course my other projects that we'll be working on, like 6. So it all helps. So I said it will go back into this channel to help pay for resources and tools to help create more content. Be much obliged. And also please remember to subscribe to my second channel, my main channel, The British Coming, link in the description below as well, for other live streams I do on there.
British are coming are fun for one reason. I don't have to be quite so polite.
No, on that one, gloves are off.
And I definitely like to give my opinion on Harry and Meghan. Though I don't
please,
quite
no,
use
don't.
those words.
Unfortunately, the problem is now if we did what we did when we did the original British Are Coming today,
They'll come
we
after us.
we would have been thrown in prison
Oh, as if you're lucky.
if we're lucky.
But let's step away from that. Before...
Yes, yes, let's. But I'm just saying.
Well, fair point. Fair
If you're going to bring up those two, anyway. Also says Manly Stranger.
Yes.
I want to see the adventures of Yeoman.
Von Craig's Orion character.
Yeoman.
Who the
Yvonne.
frig is that?
Yvonne Craig.
Any thoughts?
I think he's talking about the. Right, no, in the original series Cage episode, when they come across a woman now who looks human, but there's an alien race and creates illusions and all that thing, and they want one illusion, they turn her into an Orion slave girl.
Ah.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I'm not me now. I don't want to see what happened because it was simple. She just crashed and she was the only survivor there.
Fair point. So, theories on the Orions as we're currently nattering about them.
What about more theories? What do you want?
What is their chance of surviving in that universe? I'll be completely honest.
What universe is that? What universe are we talking about?
The Star Trek universe.
Oh,
I don't think they're actually going to be able to survive.
well, they're part of the Orion Syndicate, so they're quite well spread out. They're an underworld gang, so.
Oh yes.
So,
But the point is,
but
the
while they're
underworld
in a section of space where the Federation is not there, they can't do anything, and they're not part of the Federation, so they can't stop them.
No, but they're also going to they'll be receiving absolutely no protection when, let's just say, the big boys turn up. By definition, the Borg, the Klingons before they.
That'd be interesting. Well, we said we don't know much about Orion technology, really, to be honest. Just that they're dealing slaves, mainly their own people.
Yeah.
Women.
And I personally have an issue with the whole slavery concept, but that's just me.
Well, remember, in there originally it was the women that was enslaving the men, and the men revolted and they reversed the process. So now, it was kind of like revenge. So because originally the roles were reversed. It was the men were the slaves, and the men fought back.
Yeah.
And that's why all the Orion women are in the situation they are. Still are.
Dustin has asked, "How comes they're emerald green?" Any thoughts?
I don't know. Maybe the swam maybe the water's green and it got stained.
Now, as a serious aside, I wonder if they actually have some sort of plant genetics.
Well, the only thing I get on the plant genetics.
Well, think about it, okay? Their green skin would lead to the suggestion that they may have some sort of chlorophyllc feeding.
You've been watching Batman again, haven't you?
No, but
Poison
actually
ivy.
I'm based on science.
The only thing I know about genetics-wise is mainly the women with their pheromones.
Yeah, that would also actually, good point.
Gamma radiation, yes, why not? Yes, and got a dose of gamma radiation. Orion smash.
Oh no!
Well, mind you, if you look at the Orion males, you could think that you would look at the Orion males, you would think they've been absorbing gamma radiation. They look like Hulk.
Well, I mean, if they were the working unit, like you said, they were the original slaves. It's not really surprising that they are big and tough. That's actually how they would be bred.
Well, have you watched the? No, probably not. Have you heard of a webisode called Star Trek Continues with Vic Mignogna as Captain Kirk?
Don't think I have.
Watch it. Star Trek Continues. Vic Mignogna. They did a fantastic job. One of the best fans film there. Unfortunately, they had to stop because of the when the new guidelines came in.
I have vague memories that I watched Star Trek Beyond. Does that ring a bell?
That's the film, which was terrible.
No, not the film. There was a series. I think it was Beyond. Can't remember. This is a problem. I cannot remember. It was another one of the fanfic stories. Sorry, You're talking to a person here who has trouble with memory, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to just bring something up so you can see.
No problem.
This is Star Trek Continues. I'll do the fast forward. This is Vic Mignogna. He's the one who put this project together. Got the Kickstarter going. He was originally a voice actor, just in Dragon Ball Z and all the other things.
It does not ring a bell, but that doesn't necessarily mean.
But yeah, these are all done by fan donation.
She can't speak or won't speak.
Well, it's hard to believe she spent years.
You can gather.
They even have guests on there.
Gather from here.
Real stars on there as guest stars.
Longer an unfortunate.
They had
she could be a murderer.
Give you names.
The female that was a nurse, I would say, or possibly doctor. Whoa! I've seen him before. Maybe I have seen it then.
Also, do you know who the chief engineer? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Chris Daniels' son. The guy playing Scott is his son.
This entire ship.
Oh,
That is actually his son playing that.
Cute. I like it.
Yeah. Erin Gray made his special appearance. Buck Rogers, Wilma from Buck Rogers.
Oh my lord.
She made a guest appearance. It gets better when they bring on the... Let me just... Let's get to that point. If I can find it.
As we're currently doing the Trek.
Oh, here we go. Who do you think this
Hear you
is?
say that. We've prepared a dinner.
No, go on.
Well, he's used to being painted green.
One of the guys that played the Hulk.
This is Lou Ferrigno. Played the original Hulk in the 1970s.
Oh.
This is Lou Ferrigno.
Oh wow!
He was
Okay.
also a bodybuilder. You know, he's the bodybuilder. You know, so that is Lou
Yeah,
Ferrigno.
I do know the name, but obviously not exactly my era, to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
I take it you've seen the like Star Trek versus, and then they'll like put another universe's ships. Have you?
No, I
like
haven't
for
seen that
instance. Oh.
You was talking about you was talking about the they did episode the Mirror Universe. Star Trek Continues did. They did an episode.
Oh.
It continued on when they returned to when the Mirror Universe Kirk returned to his own universe, and they continued on from there.
Submit. It's you.
So this is
Are illogical.
so the let me just
You're
hold
willing
on,
party.
bring it up.
You have 1 minute and
They
23
recreated that
seconds.
Change
scene
is inevitable.
from
predictable,
Mirror Mirror.
beneficial.
That end,
Doesn't logic demand?
No.
and then they bring them back. And then they
Captain
continue.
Kirk, I share most of the crew.
And
is
now they bring
unaware
back
of these
their
events.
Kirk.
I was able to.
And they
I
created-
know what happened.
Created a whole
I wanna know
episode.
why. Who's responsible?
The ion storm created
Okay.
a transporter.
It's really, really good. And it's
Yeah.
called
I
Fairest of them all. It's
re-
called.
Okay, I did really enjoy the Star Trek Enterprise ones where they done
Mira
the
Dockley.
alternate. Yes,
Mirror
yes,
Dockley.
they were some of my favourite epis. I've got to say.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm looking as we're getting close to the hour mark. I think we're probably going to call it a day there. Thank you
Okay,
all
okay.
for turning up. We don't want to shoot load too early. So we've still got lots more Trek to talk about. So we're going to spread out a little bit. So if you enjoyed that, let me know in the comments. Not the chat, in the comments. If you like what we did and you want us to do another episode, let me know in the comments that you want us to do another one. And if you do, if we get enough, then we'll do another one. But until then, thank you all. Thank you, gents, for coming in. And no thank you to Nomad for not turning up. Say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.